name is Faithe-Maree Brown, and I'll be doing my personal narrative speech today. It was the ability that mattered, not disability, which is a word I'm not crazy about using. When I hear this quote, all I can do is nod my head in agreement and understanding. Exactly what Marley Marlin was signing. This famous actress is deaf, and while some people would get down because of that, she used it to her advantage. Some disabilities are obviously visual, i.e. blindness, hearing impaired signing, someone in a wheelchair. However, others, like mine, are not. In 2007, I began suffering from agonizing pain that would leave me homesick from school for weeks on end. My 6th grade and 7th grade year, I missed nearly half of the year because of the intense pain I was suffering. Unfortunately, it would take all of my 6th grade year and part of the summer of 2008 for my parents to learn what plagued my body. On July 7, 2008, Dr. Jennifer Soap of the Children's Hospital in Denver, Colorado, diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, or FMS. I thought this was good. Now we have some answers, and surely there would be a cure. I would be free of pain. For I had been in pain for so long, I was beginning to think it was normal. Unfortunately, there isn't a cure, and some of the restrictions Dr. Soap suggested for me would include the following: an extra set of books, so that I would have a set at home and a set at school, a roller backpack so that I wouldn't have to carry around a heavy backpack at school, additional time between classes, and access to an elevator for walking around campus can be particularly painful, especially if I am bumped into and fall over. Modified PE class, meaning that if I didn't feel up to being able to run or do jumping jacks or sit-ups or something that was very jarring on my body, I didn't have to. And because mornings are often difficult for fibromyalgia patients, a modified schedule that placed my academic and PE course in the afternoon so that the morning stiffness would hopefully be gone by then. As I read the letter describing all of this and discussed it with my primary physician, I realized that in essence I was to be placed in a bubble where I could not be hurt and to live a normal life. Initially, I felt mortification as I wondered if I would ever be normal again. And then the rebellion set in, as I realized I didn't want this disease to have control over my life, and I refused to be put in a bubble. I think I would have been more confused and scared if I hadn't have had my parents to go through this journey with me. But I did, and with their help, I created a new rule in my life, that I had a disability, but it didn't have me. I made my parents and sisters and brothers promise to live by this rule too. But for Mom and Dad, it wasn't so hard for them. Mom, being hearing impaired and having fibromyalgia, and Dad having fibromyalgia, understood quite a bit of what I was going through. The bullying, the pain, not being able to do everything I wanted to do. But for my sisters and brothers, it was quite a bit harder. They didn't understand what I was going through. They didn't understand that I was still me. They wanted to baby me, and it was hard for me to show them that I was still Faith, that I could try, and if I failed, so be it, but at least I had tried and didn't stay in the doctor-driven bubble. Recently, I've always been able to put this rule into effect. One of the first times was when I first started attending East High School for my electives. I joined the golf team. I'd always been a casual player, nothing competitive, but now I wanted to be on the team. But within 2 weeks of being on the team, my hands and wrists hurt so much and so bad that some days I couldn't even write. Mom had to help me quite often with my homework because I couldn't even type on the computer. Finally, after braces on my wrists and hands didn't work, my doctor, Dr. Patrick Mallory, or Doc as we fondly call him, explained that of all things I could do to worsen my fibromyalgia, it would be golf. He said it was hard on a fit athlete, let alone an athlete in my condition. Once again, that rebellious spirit of mine took hold, and my rule of having a disability but not letting it have me came out. I looked at Doc and said, I guess I'll just have to strengthen my hands and wrists to where I can play, huh? Because I am not giving up. Doc, of course, laughed because he had never known me to give up. Of course, my parents were not so willing to let me just keep going. They saw how much pain I would be in, and how much pain I've already gone through, and the things I had to do to compensate it. But after speaking with them and my coach and explaining my body may never be tournament ready, it didn't mean that I didn't want to keep trying and be at least a support staff for my fellow teammates. God uses me not because of my disability, but in spite of it. As I go forward with this disability called fibromyalgia, I know God will use it, not because I have it, because I am me, and I didn't let it rule who I became. I just have it. It doesn't have me. Thank you.